on August 17, 2022. The Tweed New Haven Board of Directors meeting for ACN Tweed New Haven Airport is now in session. I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the minutes of July 20, 2022.
So moved.
Thanks, Serena. Second. Okay. Trying to grab everybody in there. Someone raise their hand or thank
Second,
you, Robert. Joe, thanks. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Signify by raising your hand.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, that motion carries. Before we get to the executive director's report, I'd like a motion to move the public session to the beginning of the meeting.
so moved.
What? I know who said that, but I just want to move it to the beginning. I want, with the caveat that these are 3-minute speaking. I want everybody to get a chance to speak. So it's going to be a 3-minute speaking rule. I hope the board agrees. But I want to move it to the beginning of the meeting after talking with the executive director and the vice chair. We all think it's a good idea, as I'm sure everyone here does. But really, I'm just respectfully requesting everybody limit it to 3 minutes so we can hear from everyone. So I do have a motion. Move that.
So
I'll
moved.
second it, John.
Yeah, thank you. The motion made, raised. Second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention, that motion carries. So Felipe, I'm gonna, Sean, we're gonna move now to the, before the executive director's report, we're gonna open up the public information session. Again, I'm asking anything's on tonight's agenda, and please, you hold your comments at 3 minutes. Felipe, I need your help here because I cannot see the.
So, Mr. Chairman, if you're interested from speaking from the public, if you raise your hand in the chat function, we will call on you in the order in which we see you, and we can proceed from there. So once Felipe is ready, I know he's facilitating. We had some neighbors show up at the airport, and he is trying to work with them to arrange them to view this. So I'm not sure if he's there, but when he's back, he can call in folks. All right.
And I'm
So
just,
Felipe,
this is for the public, the board members. You can speak at any time during, obviously, when we're going through things. This is for the members.
I have one person, Mr. Chairman, when you're ready.
Go ahead, Felipe. Name and address, please.
Good afternoon, folks. My name is Mayor Joseph Carfor from the town of East Haven.
All right, Mayor.
Good morning. I wanted to be clear to my constituents that I am against the expansion of this airport to the East Haven side. I have asked consistently for a shared burden, and our requests have been uniformly denied. This agreement is being rushed. Meetings and engagement were limited leading up to this vote using COVID-19 and remote meetings in order to limit transparency. The facts about how it is before you today are astounding. We were denied access to it last week by Mr. Scanlon. It was relayed to us on Sunday, not enough time for any of our board members to fully digest and seek interpretation on what is contained in this document or its impact on the town. Having said that, it does not take an expert to see that there is not shared burden here. East Haven takes it on the chin while we will inherit all the traffic, the transient population, parking headaches, ecological strip mining, noise, pollution, burden on our already taxed public safety departments that will come into this project. While at some point, at the same time, giving New Haven most of the economic benefit, serving at the behest of Yale and Goldman Sachs. I have said all along that I wanted to be a good neighbor. It is simply not possible given the way this lease is being handled. Our town has signed nothing, we have agreed to nothing, and we have hired specialized counsel and Federal Aviation Counsel, and all avenues will be protected. Will be taken to protect our community. East Haven is not afraid of a street fight, and we never have been. But it is clear that Mr. Picard, Mr. Scanlon, Mayor Elliker have partnered with Yale, Avports, and Goldman Sachs to create a plan that not only hurts the quality of life in East Haven, but also the quality of life for the entire section of the city of New Haven. And prior to this meeting, the town of East Haven sent Mr. Scanlon, Mr. Picard, and Mr. Daly a litigation hold letter to preserve any and all communications regarding this matter, and most importantly, everything leading up to it. I want to thank our authority members for their commitment and efforts to date. Thank you, and I will not take any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor, for your input. Thank you for bringing that up, Mayor. This is not a question and answer session. This is a 3-minute speaking, up to 3 minutes, and we will listen, but it's not a question and answer session. Felipe, anyone else from the public who would like to speak?
I have a person coming up. This is from the conference room here.
Hi, good afternoon. We are the neighbors of New Haven and East Haven, and we will go in order and use our 3 minutes to each speak to you.
Okay, if they can each just give me their name and address when they come up, that would be helpful.
Thank you.
Do you want to start, Lorena?
Sure. My name is Lorena Venegas, and my address is 73 George Street. As you know, I've been going to these meetings for the past 3 years, and I'm appalled that some of these members are on here today. According to the bylaws and according to the state statutes, some of you need Board of Alders approvals to be here. It took me a long time for you, Mr. Picard, to understand that these board members already had expired terms and don't represent our community concerns. We have absolutely no representation for any of our environmental concerns and our social costs that is going to be borne for our children, including the future debts. Today I received via FOI an attorney-client privilege document. But this document is over 5 pages long, and it includes paragraphs including Town of East Haven. Negotiations among the authority, Airport Co. and the Town of East Haven are ongoing, and as you're aware, the town has been offered an additional $1 million. That's a pittance, that's nothing. That's what Austin Powers would do. That's not what East Haven would do. Hopefully this will be enough to secure the town's support, and if all else fails, just like in 1998, it would be possible to proceed without the blessing of the town. That is incorrect. You cannot do anything with the airport's lease without having an egress and an entrance in East Haven. And we have not had open discussions. We don't have any public forums. We have wetlands, flooding concerns. We have wildlife, the largest bird migration path. We have flooding concerns and communications internal to Connecticut DEOP, where we have outlined our environmental injustices. And all of those things have not been addressed. Some of you have even been complicit, including Matt Hoey from the Southern Connecticut Council of Governments, where you redlined a document that still exists, where freight is the main thing that's going to happen in this airport. The runway improvements are for future freight, just like the updated and future master plans are for eminent domain across both of our towns. This is a severe tragedy happening in a boys' club, where women need to be included in every single decision. We as mothers here, we make the decisions for our family, what we feed them, what we teach them, and where we go on vacation. Everything depends on us. And from here on out, I will plan to boycott each one of your businesses. It doesn't matter if you're Southern Connecticut State University. You should be helping us here with public health professionals. It doesn't matter if you're American Financial Enterprise. You should know how a budget works, because right now you're
30 seconds left.
both of our cities. Thank you very much.
You can take my 3 minutes, Lorena.
Go ahead, it's okay. Gabriella,
Thanks, Lorena.
all right?
Next, please.
Sure. I'll say this. My name is
Name and
Vivian
address, please.
My name is Vivian Honeycutt. I live at 44 Girard Avenue.
Thank you.
And I'm really quite surprised at the behavior of some of you on this panel, rolling your eyes, looking a different direction, having separate conversations. This is your time for you to hear what these community members have to say about how this airport is impacting our lives. I feel very disregarded right now, and you should be ashamed. How many times have we really had an opportunity to speak? If you're signing a document, you're not even like live signing it. So this becomes virtual again. I don't get it. We had a meeting at the school We were made promises, not everything has been upheld. We have an EA being done right now that's not completed. I know that supposedly that has nothing to do with this lease, but why on earth would you sign this thing without understanding and knowing the repercussions of what this lease means? I just don't get it. How many minutes do I have left?
Felipe,
John?
It's been about a minute and a half.
A minute and a half. I will give that minute and a half to somebody else.
thank you.
Hi, my name is Jean Edwards Chipia, 173 Henry Street, East Haven. I am just appalled at the behavior of the board, Tweed, and the town of New Haven. The way they treat the residents. It's as if we do not matter, we do not exist. We received documentation today that is extremely disturbing. Jet fuel loaders, this is a difficult issue. We are researching to the best of our ability. Engineering recommended that we obtain an expert consultant report and we are looking into it. Seriously? There are people being poisoned around this airport. And you may think I'm funny or nuts, but I am not. I am extremely serious. You are spraying Pershon Scanlon Roundup around the airport, which is a carcinogenic. It causes lymphoma. 13 dogs around the airport became violently ill. So what is this doing to our children? Linda, you have children around us. What is going on? Are we the sacrificial lambs? Are we just the poor neighbors that you can sell out for $1 million for 43 years? It is appalling. Find your conscience. It's absolutely diabolical. A few people will make millions or trillions from this while we will all suffer. Eminent domain is going to come. Freight, pardon me, Mr. Hoey, but I know you, is coming. This is not a joke. This is our lives. We are being blasted with minute particles every time a jet takes off.
We need Mark's attention.
Mark Sklar, excuse me, could you turn around? He's an attorney and his term is up.
Oh, well, he doesn't matter anyway, okay.
What's up?
My other huge concern.
Well, that's baloney.
The West Terminal continues to operate under interim certificate of occupancy.
30 seconds left.
What, now I have 4.5 minutes, someone gave me theirs. Flood mitigation is not yet completed. There may be other issues at OBIE as well as we will have a more complete understanding before the community meeting. I mean, this is insulting. It's insulting. Like I say, East Haven are the poor, oh yeah, and the air ordinance. We do not believe the airport is in compliance. We went to Avalo to address the concerns, yet you're gonna add more flights. What is going on? Come and move in my house. I ask all of you, except Linda, who I know knows, to come and live down here and suffer.
Thank you for your input, Gina. Is there Felipe?
I'm not sure if there's another person there that would like to speak.
Yes, we have at least a couple more. My name is Gretel Galicchio. Legal name is Catherine Galicchio. I live at 97 High Street in New Haven. I would also like I will also say that I'm sensible to what I perceive to be arrogance just in the outward behavior and the affect of many of the board members, and it is deeply disturbing. Many of you are actually serving now or have in the past as elected officials, representing and serving the public good. Others of you have been appointed to your positions on this board by elected officials whose job it is to serve the public good. And we here are a handful of the public that is directly affected by your decisions and your actions today. And while you may, I assume you are, although Lorena raises some very good questions as to this point, you may be operating within the letter of the law of your authority. I understand that under the Connecticut statutes, your entire mission is to serve the operations of this airport, to increase them and have them multiplied. But the spirit of this board should also be to protect the public good, not merely in terms of economic development, but also in terms of sound public policy that will be irreversible for the next number of decades. I'm sitting here with one of my children who I hope will be sitting here at every meeting you have for the next 43 years. Because it's her life that you're determining now, which I would ask you to take far more seriously than I have yet to see any evidence of. There has been frequent statements made on the part of elected officials, yes. Unfortunately, politicians too. Many of those among your number who are professional politicians have made claims publicly to be taking the good of the community into account. And yet, the community of East Haven, which of course is not a party to this lease, but will bear the
30 seconds left.
of the impacts, has not had a seat at this table. And that is shameful. You may be following the letter of the law, but you are not following its spirit. And I call into question the integrity of this process. Thank you.
Thanks, Catherine.
So my name is Gabriella Campos. I live on Stewart Street in New Haven. This board knows me well. I try to attend as many meetings as possible. Carlos, I'm sorry you walked away from your desk, but my understanding is that you needed to be approved by the Board of Alders before you sat here. I've known you for many years and know that you care deeply about the community. I'm very sad that you've been put in this position. Also, Mr. Mark, if your term is up, your vote is illegal and does not count. That is based on state statute, your bylaws, and also the lease itself. Mr. Hoey, I've understood from a number of residents of your previous foible. Mr. Picard, your record is well known in West Haven for failed economic development that has deteriorated an entire seaside area. This is what's going to happen here, is it not, Mr. Picard? Where there are over 200 homes that are currently slated to be acquired, right? So it's not eminent domain, right, Scanlon? It's not eminent domain, it's acquisition, so it's different. That somehow makes it so people don't actually lose their homes, correct? How does that work, sir? You have yet to comply with your board's direction to send to us what the FAA said was conditional in regards to concerns for safety. You were asked to do this during November and December and before that of last year. That has yet to reach any of us. Your board directed you to do so. You have not done so. I had a conversation with you about a month and a half ago where I said, hey, listen, could we just at least have a conversation about Thompson Avenue? You know, the people in that neighborhood would like to know what's happening. You've cut down all the trees, you know, and there's all this digging happening, and we have some very specific questions just to that. Let's agree to just address that. You said, well, Gabriella, if you get 4 new people to call me, right? And I did, because I was there with them. They called you and there's still no meeting on Thompson Avenue. Then at the next meeting, you divulged that there was a mistake made in the engineering and now another $200,000 have to be spent. You have wasted
30 seconds left.
time and money of this board. This board is not protected by the insurance because this, this organization does not have the funds to be considered legally solvent. Therefore, you are all personally responsible for the decisions that you make, and each one of you can face litigation for all of the harm that is happening to Long Island Sound, the roundup that is going to Long Island Sound, the de-icer that
3
is
minutes
going
are up.
to Long Island Sound, all of the chemicals that are going into Long Island Sound and hurting all of the communities.
Gabriella, your 3 minutes are up.
Guilford to Guilford, you are personally responsible for. All of the additional asthma that you are creating in this area, you are personally responsible for. This board is not solvent, therefore you are not covered by the insurance of this board. Therefore, each one of you is personally liable legally. And I really would suggest that you do not put your personal family's wealth at risk.
Gabriella, out of
for
respect to the
someone
other
who has been
speakers, there's a lot of other
complicit and does
speakers.
not keep his word on his promises. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your input, Gabriella.
Go ahead, Juan.
My name is Wanda Bubrisky. I live at 6 Rockland Park, Branford, Connecticut. I am not a resident, obviously, of East Haven and New Haven, but I do feel the impact of what is going on currently with noise and with traffic uptick since the Avello flights. But more importantly, my concern today is about making informed decisions when sitting on a board or as an elected official or as a family member. But the emphasis is on informed decisions. And I couldn't agree more with Mayor Kafora and those 3 East Haven members of the board who, revolted against making a decision on something that is 660 pages long. And as the public, I followed, I wanted to be at this meeting today on Zoom or in person here at the airport, but the minutes were not available until I believe yesterday. So to digest 660 pages of very dense material as a citizen is hard enough, but to be a board member, and I have served on both national and community boards, and to do my job well, I want to know what my responsibilities are. So I think that has been a very clearly from my friends and neighbors in East Haven and New Haven, this has not been a process that has been either transparent or fair. And I think that that's a very serious, frankly, egregious situation. And I think you should really be much more transparent about this. And I think you should be also concerned about signing off on something that you haven't even gotten the environmental assessment back. It just seems it's premature and frankly foolish. And I wish that you would get some sense and what is the rush? Get your ducks in order before you sign off on something. Thank you.
Thanks, Wanda. Anybody else from the public, Felipe?
I believe that's it. If nobody else has it, we just
Well, why don't we go to the outside the airport then? Is there anyone else, Felipe?
I have the person there. Next person up.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, and your name and address, please.
Okay. Chair, this is Garrett Chan, President and CEO of Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce, 34 Montclair Drive, West Hartford, Connecticut. I come before you today to represent the business community. We've worked closely with Avello. They've had great success in our region so far. We're excited about the jobs and investment, the economic development that they've brought. We think that this lease agreement with Avports continues that controlled growth of the airport so that we continue to have these flights, we can move into more business opportunities that will aid economic development. So on behalf of the business community, we ask that you support this lease agreement. Thank you.
Thank you, Garrett, for your input. Felipe,
Good, next person up. Rachel? Rachel, I believe you're on mute.
Rachel, I think you're still on mute. We can't hear you. Felipe, you want to come back to her?
Yeah, I'll come back to her.
Sorry, Rachel.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Name and address, please.
Yeah, Lisa Bassani, 11 Nelson Street in New Haven. I live in the Morris Cove neighborhood. I'm a homeowner here since 2009 and lived in New Haven in 2004. First of all, I'd like to just thank the two women on this call for actually looking interested in what people are saying. Most of the men on this call look like they have something else to do. So I just want to thank the two of you for at least showing some concern for what people are saying. Second point, I was told by my alder this morning that he's executing what the majority of the people want. And I said, which people? Asking him if he knows what he represents. He represents Ward 18 in New Haven. If you listen to this call, the one person that spoke in favor of this lease lives in West Hartford. Everybody else lives here. We live here. We breathe the fumes. We hear the noise. We're woken up in the middle of the night. My children get headaches from the fumes. My 12-year-old's letter was read at the last public hearing that the mayor skipped out on. I know he had an important thing to attend, but you had also already, the mayor had already postponed a previous meeting that was scheduled. So I think if you take one thing away from this call that you're listening to people, we feel disregarded. We feel our concerns are not being heard. They're real. There's direct impacts. Sean just had a baby. Sean, there's a few houses for sale here. Is your new baby want to live here and listen to these airplanes and smell these fumes? Does he? Okay, I didn't think so. So we live here. We live in a community. It's a residential neighborhood. We have a K-8 school here. We have a church here. We have a senior center here, all within a stone's throw of this airport. We've seen the traffic grow exponentially. The noise is incredibly loud for those of us that live here. And the last thing I will say is this. A number of people have brought up transparency and the voices of the people heard. We have not been heard. We have had some public hearings and public meetings that I would say are mostly feel like a bit of a charade. They have been scheduled. One last summer was during the week of the 4th of July. Maybe some of you know people traveled that week. Others were just before school started last year in the end of August. People also travel right before school starts for those of us that have children. The meeting that was supposed to be June 9th, also postponed for June 28th, right
20
after.
seconds left.
Thank you. Also for right after school ended. So people are not feeling heard. There's, as a few have mentioned, we have an environmental assessment being done. There are so many questions and concerns. There's not a real community benefits agreement for those of us that are bearing the brunt of this.
3 minutes are up.
I just would like to say one more thing. And the amount of money has never, this so-called community benefits agreement We've asked the mayor's office many times about how there would be a split between East Haven and New Haven. This is a very, very little amount of money that does not at all equal the impacts that this neighborhood is bearing. And it's not just Morris Cove, it's East Haven, it's Fairhaven Heights, it's the Annex, it's many parts of this city that are bearing the brunt of this so that Goldman Sachs can make a lot of money. Thank you for your time, but this is not a process that has any transparency. We have not had our concerns addressed. And this is a neighborhood that is very close knit. Obviously you have a lot of people that care.
Lisa, your time is up. I am sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you for your input. Before Felipe, Mayor Kafora texted me, I guess the new board member, Kevin Coyle, is not on, and he says Ray's not on either. So could you move them over, please?
Ray is on, and let me just.
I'm just going by what the mayor told me. I thought I saw
Okay.
Ray on.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Coyle is the newest board member. I'm sorry, Kevin.
I'm here, John.
Ray, I thought you were on, Ray. I saw you on before, but Mayor Kafora said you weren't, guys. And I thought maybe you got off and you couldn't get back on, but I know I saw you earlier.
If Mr. Coyle is here, we don't see his name listed there. So if he's under a different name,
He's got to text the number to us.
Please just let us
Can
know
you text me his number so we know who he is? Can you text me his number so we know who he is? All right. Kevin, I'm assuming you can hear us. We'll get you on. Felipe, continue, please.
Rachel, you're on mute.
Rachel? All right, Felipe, Rachel, I'm sorry, we'll have to come back to you.
Okay, we'll move on to the next person.
So, okay,
Oh, no, she's
no,
there, she's
hello.
there. Hold on.
It's
Sorry,
not Rachel, it's me.
Go ahead.
Actually, I've logged in under Rachel's account. This is the public room. We have one more person who'd like to speak. Yes. Trying to
Okay.
do it with this echoing thing.
Yeah. I didn't fully understand that. So Rachel, you're going to speak or someone else?
The
Someone
person who's on Rachel's account, if I could just give you a little advice, having been in that room, just walk outside into the hallway and you won't have that echo anymore. So if the person who's going to testify.
There's nothing here. That's okay. Okay, so what do I do here? Now you can speak. Why do I care? But speakers, I bring it through the phone. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Name and address,
Okay.
please.
My name is Agnès Vignery. I'm a resident of Brantford. I live 172 Clark Avenue, and on the other side of the Farm River, in other words. And my concern, I've been a faculty at Yale School of Medicine for many years, over 40, and I've been to many meetings. I've never been facing such a rushing event. So I'm asking you, why is that you want to rush this vote?
There's not a
You hear
question. Inez,
Could
go
you
ahead.
give us a reason?
This is public information. We do not do questions and answers.
They won't give questions and answers. You can speak, but they don't have to tell you. So where can we go for that answer? We need an answer for sure. And you cannot accelerate the process with no really clear background and inform and lack the information like you do. You know, you have to inform the residents, you have to inform everyone. It's your duty. And if you do not, this is illegal. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Inez. Thank you for your input. We're still trying to get Kevin on, Felipe.
Yeah, I don't see him here on the list. Does he have, is there a number? I guess.
I'm trying to locate it, Sean. I don't know. If you
John,
have
I
his-
think he's in the non-member section right now.
Ray, do you have his number by any chance?
I do not.
Oh. All right, I'm gonna try and get it. We'll figure it out. Felipe, you can, whoever's next that wants to speak from the public.
Hi, this is Barbara Malmberg. My home address is 560 Silver Sands Road, number 1303 in East Haven. I'm going to share my personal bit first, and then I'm going to go into my role as project manager at Rex Development.
You have 3 minutes, Barbara, just so you know.
I'm sorry?
We have 3 minutes, just so you know. I just want to let you know.
Oh, it's not a long story.
Okay.
I purchased my home near the airport intentionally because I traveled a lot. It was definitely something that was very appealing. Unfortunately, the growth in the airport never happened during the time I had that job. So I just wanted to make it clear that I'm speaking both from my personal experience as well as my professional experience. So on the professional side, I work for Rex Development as the project manager for the South Central Connecticut Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy. Most of you know it as the SEDS. The growth of the airport has been a goal of the SEDS since 2003. We wanted to increase the frequency of flights and the number of destinations. Since Greater New Haven is a leader in higher education, healthcare, bioscience, and manufacturing, the new flights to Chicago, Baltimore, Washington, and Raleigh-Durham encourage closer collaborations with other leading institutions in this sector. Through another key sector of our economy, which is tourism, we have established informal partnership with the Bradenton CVB, supported them through their vacation giveaway, and they're going to support us in terms of sending their residents up here for the leaf peeping experience during the fall. I believe that the launch of the Avello flights to Florida in November set a sense that we were sending all of our residents out to Florida, and that is in fact not true. The reality is that we can promote Greater New Haven as a destination for travelers seeking an authentic New England experience. And through the years of working with Avports and our very positive experiences with Avello, Rex Development strongly supports the responsible growth of Tweed New Haven Airport and the economic benefits it can deliver to the region. We believe in the jobs it can create. We believe it can help hotels, restaurants, retailers, attractions, and this is definitely an opportunity to make that happen long-term. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Barbara, for your input. Felipe?
Patricia, you are on mute?
Yeah, I think everybody's pretty much said pretty much everything that needs to be said. I just wanted to add that, you know, that we're going into another 23 years of this lease, and just looking at all of you, only Sean is going to be alive at the end of these 23 years, and you guys really shouldn't be making decisions. I mean, I saw Carlos has his child there. What are you leaving for that child? I mean, he's going to want to go fishing. He's going to want to go to the beach and enjoy catching minnows and things like that. And you're going to be polluting Long Island Sound. You're going to be making the air difficult for him to breathe. It just doesn't seem like you guys of the old school have the right to make the decisions for the new school, which are going to be more environmentally aware and are going to want a greener world. I mean, our children today, they're committing suicide, they're shooting things up. What did they have to live for? And air travel is one of the contributing factors to overdevelopment of the entire world and destruction of the environment. So I'm, you know, I know it's convenient, but we've had 100 years of pursuing convenience and technology and money, and it's not good for the world. And I want to just add, so what Barbara did stress that she supports responsible growth, but I don't see you guys necessarily being, that there's any kind of reins on you to be responsible and, you know, to grow in any kind of responsible manner. It just seems like you'll just sort of do what you want for your own pockets. And I think that's wrong. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia, for your input. Felipe, good.
Anyone
Yes,
able
Tony?
to hear me? Yep, Tony Laurenti, 23 Briar Lane. The audacity that I live in Meriden, Connecticut, which just so happens to be aligned with the GPS runway 20. As a professional pilot of near 30 years, I can vouch that airplanes fly overhead. I usually know where they're going. The pertinence that I have is my life, that of my crew, my passengers, depends on a well-run, efficient airport. I operate my aircraft not counter to those below me, but with great interest. We all have the same vested interest. So as a pilot, my involvement in virtually any airport is important, and certainly Tweed, where I spent many years working before flying professionally. Simply put, we know the characters, we know the groups who have espoused many misinformation campaigns, misled the public with frightening words. There are so many things to expound on in limited time. Perpetrating fear. As a pilot, I can tell you I've taken up these issues specifically with these individuals who have refused to listen to reason. More importantly, as I digress on my diatribe, I see the lease and the airport master plan update as two separate matters. They can run concurrently. I hear much belly aching about documents that don't exist and information that doesn't exist, yet it does before our very eyes. And I would expect each individual to be incumbent on themselves to read and understand these things. It's not the job of the airport authority, the mayor, and the world to spoon feed everyone documents. We're not all going to read 660 pages and understand it. And you guys on the board can't make that happen. So I don't hold you accountable. The information's there. The fear is running rampant continuously through social media. All the people that we hear have no voices, have the biggest, loudest voices, rampant, uncontrolled, untethered. They're responsible for misleading genuine, interested people in this matter. The airport I see is being responsible. We're not turning it into JFK. As a pilot, a 6,600-foot runway is not the
30
gateway
seconds.
runway to 747s. I applaud the efforts of the airport authority and everyone who's been involved with the responsible growth of the airport, or we'll just shut down 5,000 airports, hinging off the last comment. Shut the whole place down, as Carmine Lorenzo says in Die Hard. We'll just shut the air transportation system down and forget about it all. Good luck to you on this vote. Thank you.
Sorry, John, I think you're on mute.
Yeah, Kevin, Kevin called me. I'm
Hello?
trying to get Kevin on. I'm Felipe, if you can take the next one. I do have Kevin's number. I'm trying to
Yep,
get
I have
Kevin on.
Sean on
All right,
there.
Kevin, I'm on this
Hi,
one.
can you hear me, Felipe?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Sean Robinson. I'm at 50 Thompson Avenue. I'm the Vice President of Robinson Aviation. As a key tenant of this airport, We do have some concerns about the fact that these documents were given to us on such a short notice without any way for my team to review them and any potential impacts they may have on our operations. At this time, obviously, I can't provide any direct endorsement or objection. But however, we would like perhaps the board to consider some time for my team to review these before voting on them, given that there could be an impact that we have not yet determined. Other than that, that is the only comment I have. I'm all set. Thank you for your time.
All right, sorry. Felipe, I'm going to give you Kevin's number. Sean, maybe you can call him and he had trouble logging on. Anybody else in the public would like to speak?
Yes, I'd like to speak.
You're on, Leanne.
Okie
Name and
dokie.
address.
My name's Leanne Audette. I live at 166 Beach Avenue, directly west of the Silver Sands Beach Club on the sand. I know you're not going to answer a question, so I guess this will be a little bit rhetorical in that I'd like to have my 3 minutes worth. Of all of you, I could name you by name. I'm looking at you on the screen. How many of you would love to move into some beachfront property right on the water, right next to a wonderful beach club that serves wonderful wine, food, and plenty of activities? If you were to be given a house right now, raise your hand if you'd accept it, even if you could flip it and sell it. Well, I know you're going to say you can't do that, but I bet nobody would. Nobody would like to be in my shoes, living right under the flight approach. Nobody would like to be in the shoes of anybody who lives on Minor Road. And it's just representational of the entire area. Nobody'd like to be living near a forest of old and tall growth trees and have tweed come and cut them down, irreparably damaging a forest when you don't even know if you're going to pull this fiasco off. I'm concerned because you're digging holes, you're uprooting wetlands, you're plowing, you're bulldozing, you're spraying, and you're cutting down important trees that have lived there for easily upward of 50 years or more. And I see it as irreparable speculative damage. And I would like to just get this off my chest that you have done things speculatively. You've done things that can never be put back to the way they were, even if in the best of all worlds, you fail at this greedy business-like venture that's going to spoil the lives of easily 10,000 people more. And that's in a area that's East Haven, Fairhaven, and blah, blah, blah. And from what I understand, you're not even legally represented as signatories, all of you, for this lease. Why don't you just put it off for a month and let us people who are complaining and upset and really sick to have more time to gather our resources and present an argument that is cogent and persuasive? We feel like we've had the rug taken out from under our feet. How many of you have read the 600+ page document? Did you get it just yesterday or the day before? I don't think so. You've probably had it for ages, but you stonewalled us. Good at that. You're very good at that. All of you. I'm done.
Thank you, Leanne, for your input. Felipe?
Yes, we have Patricia.
Yes, can you hear me?
Go ahead, Patricia. Yes, we can hear your name and address, please.
Patricia Kane, 731 Quinnipiac Avenue, New Haven. I am not new to this subject. I started attending meetings in East Haven 2 years ago. Now that the increased flights have started, my section of New Haven, the Fairhaven Heights, as well as Fairhaven on the other side of the river, are starting to realize that we too are being impacted by the increased flights. And yet we were never really part of any environmental assessment or evaluated for our needs for any benefits packages such as noise insulation. We are in an environmental justice neighborhood along with the annex. We also are the site of a, again, vibrant and booming oyster industry, which is environmentally sensitive. The planes fly directly over the Quinnipiac River and actually directly over my house. I'm not the only house here, obviously. My neighbors on Lenox Avenue now have 6 signs saying stop Tweed expansion. So what you need to realize is this issue isn't going away no matter what you do. That as more people are impacted, the opposition is only going to grow. And yes, the FAA rules are on the side of airline safety. No one can quarrel with that. I think what the quarrel is whose needs are being met by this increased flight traffic. I don't sense it's coming from the residents. I sense it's coming from big interests like Yale, the hospital, Biosciences, Chamber of Commerce. The fact is there are many alternatives that wouldn't affect the environmentally sensitive location where Tweed is. Tweed was always meant to be a little puddle jumper. The state of Connecticut even passed a special law promising the residents after a humongous crash with dead bodies strewn over the beaches that they would never seek to expand the airport and the activity there. The promises have been broken. I sense you're going to proceed with this anyhow, but you do have a lot of challenges coming along, including how some of you whose terms have expired continue to participate and vote. And even the new members, Ms. San Giorgio and Carlos,
30 seconds left.
Are required to be approved by the New Haven Board of Alders. Has that process been followed? The issues are not going away. And that's all I have to say tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia, for your input.
Here we go. Go ahead, you wanted to say hi, Antonella Renelli, 61 Beachside Avenue, East Haven. I have lived in this quiet neighborhood for 6 years now. There are planes at 6:05, 10:30, 12 at night, 26 flights in and out on a day, some days, not every day. But I think you all have heard our comments on what separate are what's going on. I've lived in East Haven for over 40 years. That Tweed has been there that long. I've flown out of Tweed in 72 to go to Florida. That's all we have. The expansion is not good for the town of East Haven. People, I have grandchildren, we like to go to the beach club, we smell jet fuel. It's just an issue and it's not a good one. It's about time we stop thinking about the $5. We are people that lived here for so many years. We care about our town. And the people in the outskirts have to be careful because once, and I hope to God this never happens, we have this expansion. Branford's gonna have a problem. Guilford's gonna have a problem. Maybe Madison, I'm not quite sure. It's a Doppler radar. You can only kick the can for so long and so far. My concern with these Zoom meetings, and they're fine and well, because it's how we get information. We don't get answers. When and how, what format will we get answers? Because we are deserving of answers. I'm sure you like answers during your life. It's about time, once again, to do what's right. to stop kowtowing to the big corporations and money and power. Start using your moral compass, because that's what's lacking in this world today. Thank you for your time.
Did we get a name and address from that person?
Mr. Chair, you're on mute.
Sorry, Hugh, I don't know. I didn't catch it. I apologize. Felipe, next.
Yep, Shirley's on.
Shirley, you're on mute.
Oh, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Shirley. Name and address, please.
Great. Hi, my name's Dr. Shirley McCarthy, 16 Rockland Park, Branford. And I'm, good evening to all you men and women. And I'm coming from this as a physician and a scientist. And I can tell you, if you ask any human being, if, you know, as they anticipate death, what was always most important to them, and they would say health and their family. So I'm just really bothered that economics and convenience are being put ahead of human health and well-being. There's a ton of scientific data about how bad airport pollution is for people. As a matter of fact, there's a good study that came out in environmental research that shows a significant increase in premature mortality for anyone that lives within 12.5 miles of an airport. And this one author estimated that it costs the healthcare system $21 billion a year. This is airport pollution alone. And you all know there's sulfur dioxide, nitrous dioxides, ozone, lead, all those kind of things. And they are truly toxic for our humans, and they can cause cancer, hypertension, a number of things that are just bad. And the noise for children is bad because it impacts their cognitive performance and memory. I think giving them windows that are better at noise reduction is not going to help. People want to go outside. Going outside is good for one's health. The second thing is that we all should be trying to mitigate climate change. And you may or may not know, but these electric vertical takeoff planes are about to be approved within a couple of years, particularly this company out of Burlington. And it just seems kind of short-sighted to go and expand for conventional jets when in 5 years there's going to be vertical takeoff. You don't have to destroy the wetlands. You won't have the human health consequences. And why hurt Bradley? Why not work on high-speed rail to Bradley? So I just wanted to say that I think the human health consequences, particularly for the people living near there, is bad, but it will impact the whole shoreline. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Shirley McCarthy, for your input. Gloria, we're having trouble hearing you.
Oh, I didn't say anything. Am I not?
Oh, okay.
Am I unmuted?
You're not muted, so go ahead.
Okay, this is my first time on Zoom. I've never been
okay.
able to join. I've been wanting to be involved, so I'm glad I'm able to figure this out. So my name is Gloria Bellachico. I live at 300 Lighthouse Road in New Haven. And since they started the flights, the expansion, the more frequent flights, it's so loud here. The ground shakes. I can't hear. I can't think. You smell the jet fuel. It makes me sick to my stomach. I've smelled it 4 times this week. I don't know why. I put a $140,000 addition on my house. I don't have a basement, so I'm on granite. So every time those planes hit thrust, my entire house shakes. Yeah, I bought a house near the airport, but I did not buy a house near an airport that has such frequent flights and enormous planes. It's not, I'm very familiar with Tweed. I grew up in Northford. My father used to take us down there. It was small planes, puddle jumpers. My mom used to fly out of there. We never had this kind of aviation activity. It's ridiculous. It's really sad. There's no seagulls anymore. I know you guys don't care about the environment, obviously. There's no seagulls anymore. There's no butterflies. My dog has been sick since May 1st. I counted 26 people. I found 26 people who've had sick dogs since May 1st. What's changed in a year is your flights out of Tweed from May 1st this year, more frequent, and my dog is sick. I don't feel good. I'm just not happy with the whole thing. And I had no problem with when they were flying Spirit out of there every so often. This is ridiculous. All kinds of times at night, early in the morning, my whole entire house shakes. I got permits from the city of New Haven. I paid thousands and thousands of dollars, and my house shakes. That's all I have to say. I'm really disappointed. I'm just really, I don't know. And whoever Tony is that's talking about how we're go over the edge or whatever, that guy is a lunatic. And that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you for your input.
Okay.
I'm going to ask that the public refrains from speaking of other members of the public, please.
Hey, Josh, you're on.
You're on mute, Josh. Josh, you're still on mute.
Okay, thank you. My name is Josh Drazen. I live on 175 South End Road in East Haven. I'm shocked by what I'm seeing here. It reminds me of the Soviet Union, the way that this is being run, dropping 660 pages in a day. I hope Mayor Kafora gets those lawyers ready to go, because this entire thing, we have flights flying out of here at 6 in the morning, every morning. And the joke is, oh, well, Avilo is going to fly out after 6:30. So what? You don't live here. You don't know what it's like. They're flying out. They're landing sometimes at 1:45 in the morning. There was a flight that was delayed that took off at that hour. And people say, oh, the people down there are crazy. They knew they were buying it near an airport. I've lived here for almost 19 years. And I had no problem with Tweed. I used to fly American Airlines out of there and go to visit my sister in Culver City by connecting through Philly. What you people are doing is turning this airport from a tiny regional airport and trying to make money off of everybody around here. This is a very heavily populated area. And your arrogance is just unbelievable. And I don't think you're going to be arrogant if Mayor Kafora finally gets those lawyers on you, because this is out of control. You're abusing the population. Avilo's getting away with murder. And you also, what I don't understand is, where are the noise ordinances? Because if I cut my lawn at 6 in the morning, I'm sure the cops would be at my house. So I don't know how you're getting away with this, but it's time for the lawyers to get involved and get everybody serious. And that's all I have to say, because I'm exhausted by what you people have done.
Thank you, Josh, for your input.
Hey, Douglas, you're on.
Hi, thank you. Name is Doug Houseladen, 115 South Water Street, New Haven, Connecticut. I'm here to testify on behalf of the contract between Tweed Airport Authority and the folks doing the expansion of the airport. I'm also the executive director for New Haven Parking Authority, and have been supportive with the partnership with Tweed Airport in the last month and a half to run remote parking from Union Station to New Haven Tweed Airport. I'm here excited by this opportunity for New Haven to return to air service and grow as a region. I moved here in 2000, been here 22 years. I used to take direct flights on jets from Comair directly from Cincinnati. In my 22 years, the air travel from the region has gotten worse until lately, and my trains are slower to New York until lately, and my options for opportunities for settling of sales teams and companies when talking with folks in the private sector trying to expand have always been also stifled until recently. I think it's incredible what Avello has done in a short time, showing the possibility of an airport while safeguarding around noise ordinances and following protocol as difficult as it may have been in the past and in future to do. I'm grateful for Avello to listen to neighbors and tighten up their schedules starting in September, and I think that makes a tremendous amount of difference, particularly for folks that have been testifying on the early and late hours of operations. You know, I thank the board for their efforts and thank the executive team for bringing us together. The growth of New Haven's air service is going to be special in this era when we're seeing expansive growth in our residential sectors as well as our biotech and the university sector. You know, I know a lot of folks think that the university and other sectors are just quote big business, but they're also big business with a lot of jobs and a lot of jobs held by residents in New Haven County and the region. One issue I've always noted and always looked at is how many headquarters of Fortune 1000 companies are located in Connecticut. And there's a smattering in
30
Stamford,
seconds
and
left.
there's a large cluster of these companies around the Hartford airport. And as someone who's had to travel for work via plane, you know, taken trips before, I think the connectivity to New Haven is extremely important for our future as a region. And I'm really terribly excited to see the expanding airport to have an East Haven a larger terminal in East Haven to handle this growth. Thank you again to the board and the executive team for the hard work. I look forward to taking even more flights out of Tweed and working on partnerships to enhance the rail connectivity to the airport as well. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, Doug, for your input. Felipe, is there anybody else in the public who would like to speak?
I don't see anybody else with their hands up.
The second time, is there anybody from the public who would like to speak? For the third and final time, is there anybody else from the public who would like to speak? Felipe, I'll take that as a no.
Nope, that's a nope.
Public information session is now closed. Executive Director's Report, Mr. Scanlon.
Well, good evening, everybody. And I will not give a lengthy report today because we have a lot on our agenda. And obviously what has been taking up the bulk of our time here at the airport is what is before us tonight in a various degrees, not just about the lease, but various things as well. So I'll reserve my report to talk individually about these things and answer questions as they come up and kick it back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Executive Director. Mr. Scanlon, the chairman's report is going to be really brief. I just want to mention we tried to get Kevin Coyle on. He had an issue with his computer. If someone saw me on the phone, I was just talking to him. So we did try to get him on and sent them the link again. So I know we got a lot to go over. And we welcome Kevin, and I'm sure we'll welcome him more in the next official meeting. Audit and Finance Group, Mr. Hoy, you're going to fill in for Mr. Arnold. I hope you know that. Matt?
Come off mute. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Yes, I will try to fill the very large shoes left by Kevin Arnold, and my thanks to him, having served with him on the Finance Committee for a number of years, and the job he did month in and month out on these reports. You have in your packet today an updated income statement from June 30th. There were some revisions made to the June 30th reports. These are still unaudited. Just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. The changes were largely around a couple of areas. CARES Act funds had been entered twice, once as a receivable invoice entered in July of 2021. The second was comprised of 2 deposits that came in the first week of June 2022. The result was revenues being overstated by a little over $1 million. Additionally, accruals for June expenses had not been posted when you received that report in July. Additionally, the accrual for June LAS parking revenue was not posted. That was about $95,000. Receivables were overstated due to past posting issues regarding the northeast ramp, which had been corrected. So I think you can see the updated numbers for June. For July of fiscal year 2023, those are also in your packet. The total revenues for the month of July 30, ending July 31, 2022, $1,788,510.88, which is ahead of budget by over $77,000. One thing you might notice is the CARES Act monies are lumped into the first month of the report, but going out through the end of the budget cycle, we still feel comfortable that we'll be in good shape. So those are the financial reports for the amended reports for June and July. I'd be happy to entertain any questions. I'm not sure I'll be able to provide all of the answers unless we can call Mr. Arnold. But I'd also like to bring to your attention that later in the agenda, we will be addressing a revision to the adopted budget for fiscal year 22-23.
So noted. Any questions for Mr. Hoy? I'm trying to figure. Thanks, Matt.
You're welcome.
Airport Manager's Report. Ms. Nielsen, are you there?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Nielsen is not available tonight, but Mr. Churiel will gladly step into his
Churiel, it's all you, Felipe.
Give us a report.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I have a formal report. It's based on the agenda, so. That's all for me.
That's hey, Felipe, we're going to take it easy on you tonight. We have action items. I read Resolution 563. It's approval of acceptance for the Small Community Air Service Development Grant. I'd like that in the form of a motion, please.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we table this item.
The Small Community Grant you want to table?
I would like to table the item, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, is there a second to table the grant?
I'll second that.
Second by Ray. Discussion.
I'd like to just make a few comments in regards to all the action items. I'd like to echo the words of Mayor Kafora in regards to information that hasn't been brought forward to us in a timely way. None of us had the opportunity to get it in time to dissect, understand, and comprehend and comment. That's one of the reasons, as you know, I voted against executive session. I did not go into executive session just to prove a point to myself and to you. And after listening to the public, my heart breaks. My heart breaks. Because this is Samson versus Goliath. This is finance versus quality of life. And our finger should be on the scale of quality of life for the people in which we serve. And at this point, I don't know if it is, to be honest with you. And I'm going to put my finger on the scale of quality of life for every one of these items and ask that not only this item, but each one of them be tabled for future discussion. Why are we rushing into this? I mean, you don't have to answer that question, Mr. Chairman, but that's how I feel. And I want it to be well known on the record. And so I am asking that we table this item. We have a second. And I ask for a motion.
Thank you, Ken. I understand how this works.
John, I wanted to throw a little comment in on.
Go ahead. I was going to say any further discussion until Ken asked for a roll call vote, but I've done this once or twice. So
I'm sure you have, John. You're an expert.
So I just want to say that, John, and I read your tone when he said when you had responded to Ken with you want to table a grant, and I get it. Like, this may be something that's really good for all involved. It's a grant, okay, and grant funds you don't want to walk away from. But I think to Ken's point and to the public's point, there just has not been enough time to digest all of this. Okay, and this grant may be a great thing, and a lot of things on this agenda item, on the action items may be, okay? But without the time to properly vet and go through each and everything on this, with stuff that I said in our special meeting the other day, it's just, you know, above our level to comprehend in such short time. I think that's part of the underlying message here. All right, and this and many other action items on here tonight could be very positive, but why are we rushing through it? Why are we trying to do this? Okay, if we're not looking to break ground from what I saw in the presentation the other day till to 2023, but you know, March of 23, why does this lease need to go today? Why are we steamrolling this through ahead? And you know what, maybe this grant is a part of it, I don't know, but in 48 hours, we just didn't have time to vet this. And this, and like I said, and I'll say it again, this may be very good for the airport and the region, but how could we support something like this when it's being steamrolled down us? I'll yield.
Thank you, Ray. And I'm going to ask for any further discussion, just in case somebody else wants. Before we call for roll call vote, Ken. Linda? Linda, you're on mute. I can't hear you.
I'd just like to echo off what Ray just was discussing with our panel. I too also feel that East Haven hasn't had a good fighting chance to see what's good for us. And a lot of the speakers have been talking in favor of New Haven and how New Haven will be represented. And I think it's only fair to give East Haven maybe another 30 days to digest all the documents that were sent to us on Sunday. And it's a fair chance for us. And that's all I have to say. We just want a fair chance to read through documents and make a good legal decision.
Thank you, Linda. Any further discussion? Seeing none. So there's a motion and I'm going to roll call vote, Ken, before you.
Mr. Chairman, Joe Bertolino's hand was up.
I'm sorry. I apologize, Joe. Good.
That's okay. Thank you very much. So, as you know, I am new to this board. This is my first official meeting. Yay.
Congratulations, Joe.
I probably should have read the fine print. But in all seriousness, I live by the airport. I actually live in Morris Cove. And so I was just curious to know if Sean could respond to some of the comments that my fellow board members have just made. There seems to be some concern about timeliness in terms of receiving information, involvement of the East Haven constituency, et cetera, et cetera. So you'll need to forgive me, but it would be helpful just to hear a response from Sean related to that. Please. Thank you.
Well, good evening, everybody, and happy to do that. I stood out front of the airport in May of 2021 with Mayor Elicker, Mayor Carfora, and Jorge Roberts from Avports to announce the deal that is before you tonight, in which all of those individuals supported that plan. Since that time, in May of 2021, we have engaged in nonstop communication with the town of East Haven, with the city of New Haven, with residents that live in and around the neighborhoods. And I have made myself readily available to have any and all of those conversations. It is fair to say and true that Mayor Carfora last year said that he could no longer support the project as is. That did not change my availability to him. That did not change my strong desire to continue to work with him. I consider him to be somebody I work really well with, and we talk all the time. I think he's done a great job as mayor of East Haven, and I think he's trying to work through some of the issues that have come up. And I would say, in fairness, that I think that I've been trying to work through those as well. And tonight's vote, if this goes forward and you all decide to propose, the rest of this agenda that moves forward, nothing will change. I will continue working with him just as I worked with him in the last few weeks and months on some of the issues that he's raised. And so I would say, Joe, that while I do hear from some of the members of the public and even from folks on this board that this is being rushed, I would just remind the board and the public that what we are talking about tonight is what we stood up together and talked about in May of 2021. It's Avports, a private developer, would step in and commit private capital to build a terminal. That is exactly what we're talking about tonight. There are, of course, details that have changed. There are things that have changed, and there will things that will continue to change. But that does not mean that what we're talking about tonight is a foreign concept. It has been what we've been working on together as a board and very publicly in the press through many public meetings, a master plan process, and now an environmental assessment process to do what we stood up there and talked about some almost a year and a half ago now at this point. Last thing I would say, Mr. Chairman, is to Mr. Bertolino, that tonight's action is not definite in any way. Tonight's action, if you so choose to do it, simply moves this process forward. The environmental assessment is still ongoing. If anything in this is deemed to be not sound from an environmental perspective, the FAA will not allow this project to move forward. If certain permissions are not granted from the town or the state or the cities around the airport, this project will not move forward. And so tonight is just moving the process forward. It is not the final vote on the project, but the project is the project that we all announced together in May of 2021. And the underpinning reasons why we did that are still very much valid.
And Sean, how does, I'm sorry, John, thank you for indulging me. I appreciate it. How do the approvals happen ultimately in the end? How do the approvals happen for New Haven and the city of East Haven?
Joe, are you talking about the terminal or are you talking about the lease agreement?
Any of the above, quite frankly.
So, Sean, I think we should separate and walk that through.
Because Sean had just mentioned that certain things cannot move forward without the approvals of the two towns So I was just curious about that process.
And Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to answer any questions. I am not a Robert's Rules expert, but I do believe that part of this conversation might not be germane to the motion that was made, and therefore I'm not sure we can have this. If Mr. Mankey can chime in on that,
I think, Joe, to answer your question, I think Sean's right. It's not part of the motion in a second and part of that discussion, but there's other things in this area that it will be. If you can hold off on that, that would be great. I was obviously allowing a lot of latitude because, as you said, it's your first meeting. But to Sean's point, typically when you have a motion in a second, it's the discussion on that small community air service development grant. Any other discussion on the air service development grant? All right, so now we're going to do a roll call vote. A vote of yes is to delay. Is to table. I got it, Ken. Is to table this grant to a future meeting, or to a vote of nay would be to leave it there, and then we look for a motion to approve possibly. Mr. Scanlon, roll call, please.
Mr. Bertolino.
Nay.
Mr. Izagiri.
No.
Mr. Jacob.
No.
Ms. Neil Sanjuro.
Serena.
No.
Mr. Petrini.
No.
Skalaris.
No.
Ellis.
No.
Pompano.
Yes.
Janetti. Daglieri.
Yes.
Hennessy.
Linda.
Yes. Yes.
Coyle. Hoey.
No.
White. Picard.
No.
Mr. Chairman, the ayes are 3 and the nays are 9. The motion fails.
9 nays, 3 yeas, motion fails. I'm looking for a motion to approve 563, approval of the small community
So
grant.
moved.
Thank you,
Second.
Matt. Second. And discussion. Seeing no, and all those in favor, I think we should do the roll call vote again. Sorry, Sean, but
The roll call vote on
a vote of yes would be to approve the small community air service development grant. A vote of nay would be to not approve it.
Bertolino.
This is different.
Yes.
This is not the table that I want to be clear to the newer members.
Bertolino.
Yes.
Izagiri.
Yes.
Jacob.
Yes.
Nielsen Juro.
Yes.
Petrini.
Yes.
Scalaris.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Pompano.
No.
Janetti. Daglieri.
No.
Hennessy.
No.
Coyle. Hoey.
Yes.
White. Picard.
Yes.
The ayes are 9, the nays are 3. The motion.
9 yea, 3 nay. Motion carries. Looking for a motion to approve resolution 564, approval of the advisory committee.
So moved.
I
Thank you,
move that we
Matt.
table this item.
Already
We got a-
moved.
It's got a
Already
motion
moved.
by Matt to approve. I'm gonna go through. I need a second.
Second.
Thank you, second. And then I'm gonna discussion.
John, I'll discuss. Again, I believe we should table this item. Town of East Haven, our elected officials, our attorneys, our members have not had sufficient enough time to dissect the information. I don't know what the rush is. I'm getting conflicting reports. I heard Sean earlier. I have a lot of respect for Sean. He said a few minutes ago, town approval on moving forward in certain areas. Told me a few weeks ago, you don't need town approval. You don't need planning and zoning. You don't need inland wetlands. So what's going on here? Do you need town approval or you don't need town approval? Do you need town board and commission's approval or you don't need town and board commission approval? I mean, I'm confused at this point, to be honest with you, Sean, with all due respect. So I cannot move forward on this item or any of the items that are on your agenda. I said my piece.
Mr. Chairman, if I can just say real quickly, not in response to Mr. Jaglieri, but in the Q&A section, Felipe, there is somebody writing under the name of Frank.
Frank,
that is saying there, Kevin.
Sounds good.
Coyle. So let's promote Frank and identify Mr. Coyle and welcome him to this meeting.
Are you there, Kevin?
Not been added yet. So let's just give Mr.
I was texting Felipe the same thing because Mayor Ford just texted me that he was under Frank.
Frank's on the panel.
Hey, Kevin, if that's you, can you do me a favor and just introduce yourself so we know it's you when you're voting?
Not Frank.
Future?
Hey, Kevin, how are you, bud?
Good. Hi, Don. Kevin Coyle.
All right. Thanks, Kevin. Welcome to the meeting and welcome
Welcome
to
to
the
the meeting, Kevin. The next time we'll give you a formal welcome at the next meeting. All right. Yeah, no, I remember. We met before.
That's fine. Fine.
Okay, I'm having a little trouble hearing Kevin, but there was a motion, a second. There was some discussion. Any further discussion?
Yeah, way back. Richie Borg, Wayne Town, Eddie Pascal.
Yeah, too bad about Eddie.
Mr.
all right.
Chairman?
Yes, sir.
To the specific motion here, I think this is a wonderful idea. There is a wealth of knowledge in board members who have served for many years, who have been replaced by some of our new colleagues. And,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
full respect to for our new colleagues. There are some of those members who were from East Haven who could be of significant value to our new members and for their perspective on what has taken place over time. So I know that there are those of us on the board who would love to have the benefit of that advisory, that council. So this is specific to this motion.
Thank you, Mr. Roy. I appreciate that. I really do believe this is a good idea. And at some point, some other members may term off and there's a lot of valuable insight there. So I do agree. Any further discussion? I'm not going to roll. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Chairman, I do believe we need to take a roll call vote on this because of Zoom. So
okay, go ahead.
Go through that. Bertolino.
Yes.
Izagiri.
Yes.
Jacob.
Yes.
Neil Sanjuro.
Yes.
Trini.
Yes.
Sklar.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Pompano.
No.
Janetti. Daglieri.
No.
Hennessy.
No.
Coyle.
No.
Hoey.
Yes.
White. Picard.
Yes.
Motion carries 9-4.
9.
Or
Nine yeas, four-
motion is defeated 9-4. I apologize.
No, motion carries. There was a motion to
Motion
approve.
carries.
Motion carries. I got it, Mr. Executive Director. It was a motion to approve. So 9 yeas, 4 nays, that motion carries. So we can, the advisory committee can be created. We have a resolution 565, approval of amendment to the bylaws. I need a motion to
My
approve.
motion to table the item.
Good job, Ken.
You're welcome, man. I'm experienced.
I'll second that,
Just
John.
like you.
Is that you, Ray?
Yes.
Motion and a second to table.
Call the question.
Got a motion and a second to table.
I will call the roll. Mr.
Roll
Bertolino.
call vote.
No.
Izagiri.
No.
Jacob.
No.
Neil Sanjuro.
No.
Petrini.
No.
Sklar.
No.
Ellis.
No.
Pompano.
Yes.
Janetti. Daglieri.
Yes. I mean, no.
You got it right.
to table.
Hennessy.
Yes.
Coyle.
I think we lost. I don't know about you guys, but Frank, I don't have.
He's there.
He appears to be frozen.
There he is.
Kevin. Hoey.
No.
White. Picard.
No.
Mr. Coyle, are you back unfrozen? He appears to be frozen. The noes were 9, the ayes were 3.
I knows 3 yeas, motion fails. I need a motion to approval of the amendment to the bylaws 565.
So moved. So
Thank
moved.
you, Matt. Second. Second.
Second.
Ben, thank you. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor, saying, excuse me, roll call vote. Go ahead.
This is 565, John?
This is approval of the amendment to the bylaws.
Bertolino.
Yes.
Izagiri.
Yes.
Jacob.
Yes.
Neil Sanjuro.
Yes.
Petrini. Petrini.
Ben, your move.
Yes.
Sorry.
Sklar.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Pompano.
It's Pompano, Sean, and it's a no.
Sorry, Ray.
Sorry, Ray. No.
All good.
Janetti. Daglieri.
No.
Hennessy.
No.
Coyle. Coyle.
No.
Gotcha.
No.
Okay, gotcha.
Thanks,
Hoy.
guys.
Yes.
White. Picard.
Yes.
The ayes are 9, the nays are 4.
9 yeas, 4 nays, motion carries. Okay. We have resolution 566, approval of amended and restated lease between the city of New Haven and the Tweed New Haven Airport Authority.
Motion to table the item.
Got a motion to table by Ken Daglieri. I know that.
It's all right, John.
Been around a long time, Ken. I know that. It's just a long day, bud.
I got you.
I need a second.
I'll second that for Ken.
Call the question, Mr. Chair.
We have a motion and a second and call the question. Roll call vote, Mr. Scanlon.
Bertolino.
Sorry, what are we voting?
Actually, a yay would be it's my fault. I might be more tired than I think. There was a motion to table, so a yay would be to table resolution 566, a nay would be to deny that.
Thank you. No.
Izagiri.
No.
Jacob.
No.
Neil Sanjuro.
No.
Petrini.
No.
Scalaris.
No.
Ellis.
No.
Pompano.
Yes.
Janetti. Daglieri.
Yes.
Hennessy.
Yes.
Coyle.
Yes.
Hoey.
No.
White. Picard.
No.
4 yay, 9 nay.
4 yay, 9 nay, motion fails. I need a motion to approve the amended and restated lease between the city of New Haven and
So
Tweed New Haven
moved.
Airport Authority. Thank you, Matt. Second. So said that, but.
Second,
yeah.
Carlos.
Thank you, Carlos. Discussion. Seeing none. Roll call vote, Mr. Scanlon.
Bertolino.
Yes.
Izagiri.
Yes.
Jacob.
Yes.
Neil Sanjuro.
Yes.
Petrini.
Yes.
Scalaris.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Pompano.
No.
Janetti. Daglieri.
No.
Hennessy.
No.
Coyle.
No.
Hoey.
Yes.
White. Picard.
Yes.
9-4, Mr. Chairman.
We have 9 yeas, 4 nays. That motion carries. Resolution 567, approval of lease and development agreement for Tweed New Haven Airport between Tweed New Haven Airport Authority and the New Haven LLC. Form of
Motion to table the item, Mr. Chairman.
A motion to table by Ken Daglieri. Second. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ray.
Call the question, Mr. Chairman.
There's call the question. Roll call vote, Mr. Scanlon.
Bertolino.
Go ahead, hold on. Vote of, sorry, Executive Director. So a vote of yes would be to table the approval of lease and development agreement between New Haven Airport. A vote of no would be to not table, to move on.
Bertolino.
No.
Izagiri.
No.
Jacob.
No.
Neil Sanjuro.
No.
Petrini.
No.
Scalaris.
No.
Ellis.
No.
Pompano.
Yes.
Janetti. Daglieri.
Yes.
Hennessy.
Yes.
Coyle. Coyle. Hoey.
You're laughing, Ray. Is he there?
No.
Picard.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr.
No.
Coyle, are you there?
I was trying to say
Yes.
he's here. Yes. Frank.
Yes. Okay. 9-4, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. We have 9 nays, 4 yeas, motion is defeated.
Yes.
All right. Resolution 567, I'm looking for a motion to approve the lease development agreement between, thank by Matt. Wait, is there a second?
Second.
Second, thank you, Serena. Discussion. I gotta switch screens because last time I missed somebody. Seeing none, roll call vote, Mr. Scanlon.
Bertolino,
Yes.
Izagiri,
Yes.
Jacob,
Yes.
Neil Sanjuro,
Yes.
Petrini,
Yes.
Sklar,
Yes.
Ellis,
Yes.
Pompano,
No.
Janetti, Daglieri,
No.
Hennessy,
No.
Coyle,
No.
Hoey,
Yes.
White, Picard.
Yes.
Ayes are 9, nays are 4.
9 yeas, 4 nays, that motion carries. Resolution 568, approval for amendment number 6 to the agreement between the Tweed Haven Airport Authority, Avports, and Avports HVN LLC. Formal motion.
Motion to table, Mr. Chairman.
Motion to table.
After a second.
I'm sorry.
Once it's second, I have a comment or a question through you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got a motion by Ken. It's all right, Ken. I'm looking for this second. I didn't hear if someone seconded. Linda? Thank you.
Second.
Ready for the roll call, Mr. Chairman?
I have a question through the
I'll
chairman.
refrain from the call.
Mr. Daglieri, so I've been informed since we've been having this meeting that the motions of to table are not debatable under Robert's Rules of Order.
Okay.
So if you can leave your question for the underlying motion.
No, not a problem.
Okay.
Not a problem.
Looks like Mr. Picard has frozen, but I think it's safe to move forward with the roll call. So Bertolino, this is a
No.
motion to table 568, the 6th agreement. Bertolino,
No.
Izagiri,
No.
Jacob,
No.
Neil Sanjuro,
No.
Petrini,
No.
Sklar,
No.
Ellis,
No.
Pompano,
Yes.
Janetti Daglieri,
Yes.
Hennessy,
Yes.
Coyle. Mr. Coyle. Okay. Hoy.
Yes.
No.
Okay, I got your yes there, Mr. Coyle. And Mr. Picard.
No, actually, sorry, guys. I lost you for a minute there, so I apologize. My Wi-Fi cut off.
The nays are 9, the ayes are 4. The motion to table.
9 nays, 4 yeas, the motion fails. So we have Resolution 568, approval of the amendment number 6 to the agreement between Tweed Haven Airport Authority and Avports LLC and Avports HVN LLC. Form a motion to approve, please.
So move.
Thank you, Matt. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Vin. Discussion.
I'll withdraw my question request, John.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Ken.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
We're good.
Any further discussion? Just a comment that we've been in a lease with Avports, I think, for about 20 years now, give or take. They've done a great job of running Tweed, and I just wanted to make that comment. This is something that's been done, extended periodically since I've been on the board, obviously for not this length of time. Any other discussion? Seeing none, a roll call vote. Mr. Scanlon?
Bertolino.
Yes.
Izagiri.
Yes.
Jacob.
Yes.
Neil Sanjuro.
Yes.
Petrini.
Yes.
Sklar.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Pompano.
No.
Janetti Daglieri.
No.
Hennessy.
No.
Coyle. Hoey.
Yes.
White. Picard.
Yes.
Coyle, one more time. I don't see Mr. Coyle anymore, so that would be 9-3.
9 yeas, 3 nays, motion carries. Resolution 569, publication of rules and regulations and minimum standards, and a motion to.
Motion to table, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Daglieri. Second. Linda, that's your hand. Second. Discussion.
Call the question.
Okay. Bertolino.
No.
Izagiri.
No.
Jacob.
No.
Nielsen Juro.
No.
Petrini.
No.
Claris.
No.
Ellis.
No.
Pompano.
Yes.
Janetti Daglieri.
Yes.
Hennessy.
Yes.
Coyle.
Yes.
Hoey.
No.
White. Picard.
Oh. 9-4.
9-4.
9 nays, 4 yeas, that motion fails. Resolution 569, the motion of publication of rules and regulations and minimum standards in the form of a motion, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Matt. Second. Thank you, Rich. Discussion.
Am I correct that under this resolution, the draft standards would be published for public comment?
I believe you are, but Sean?
Yes.
Thank you.
Attorney Menke just answered yes. The answer is yes.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote, Mr. Scanlon.
Bertolino.
Yes.
Izagiri.
Yes.
Jacob.
Yes.
Nielsen Juro.
Yes.
Petrini.
Yes.
Scolaris.
Yes.
Ellis. No, Megan.
Yes.
No. Just trying to ward my son off from this room. Pompano.
No.
Janetti. Daglieri.
Yes.
Hennessy.
I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought.
This is on the.
I know. I'm sorry.
Motion,
I'm out
was
there
the motion
now.
to table.
Is the motion to table.
Is yes. Table.
Coyle.
Yes.
Okay. Hoey.
Ray, I think I got it, Ray. Hold on. Ray wants to change his vote, I believe. Is that all right, Ray, or no? You gotta take you off mute, Ray. I don't want to speak for you.
I'll record you in the affirmative, Ray.
I'm having a tough time keeping up.
That's
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. White. Picard.
No.
Okay.
9-4.
9-4.
9 nays, 4 yeas. The motion is defeated. Yeah, approval. Man, I lost.
Agenda 569. Yes.
Yep. Resolution 569, publication of rules and regulations and minimum standards. A motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Matt. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ben. Discussion. Ray, just so you know, I'm taking notes and I still got lost there for a second. So there's a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in, excuse me, roll call vote, Mr. Scanlon.
Okay. Bertolino.
Yes.
Izagiri.
Yes.
Jacob.
Yes.
Nielsen Juro.
Yes.
Petrini.
Yes.
Claris.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Pompano.
No.
Janetti. Daglieri.
No.
Hennessy.
No.
Coyle.
No.
Hoey.
Yes.
White. Picard.
Yes.
9-4, Mr. Chairman.
9 yeas, 4 nays. That motion carries. We have approval of the amended fiscal 23 budget. So the 2022, 2023, hold on, Kevin, 23
I'm sorry,
budget.
Ken.
It's okay. Motion to table.
The table, of course.
Right.
Oh, no.
Second. Somebody, second.
Second. Whoa, what am I seconding?
Ken Dagliere has a motion to table the.
No,
approval
no,
of the
sorry.
amended fiscal
I take
23.
that
Matt,
back.
no
Sorry,
coaching.
Ken.
No coaching, Matt.
Come on, Ken.
I wasn't, I was just repeating what was,
It was a
Okay.
check. It was a check, Ken.
I need a second. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
Discussion,
Question.
roll call vote, Mr. Scanlon. Hold on, let me repeat this because we're all.
This is to table the vote on the budget.
Motion of yay would be the table, of nay would be not to table. On the approval of the amended fiscal 23 budget.
Bertolino,
No.
Izagiri,
No.
Jacob,
No.
Neil Sinjuro,
No.
Petrini,
No.
Sklaris,
No.
Ellis,
No.
Pompano,
Yes.
Janetti, Daglieri,
Motion to table? Yes.
Hennessy,
Yes.
Coyle,
Yes.
Hoyt,
No.
White, Picard,
No.
9-4.
So 9 nays, 4 yeas, that motion fails. I need a motion to approve the amended fiscal
moved.
23 by Matt. Second, please. Thanks,
Second.
Robert. Got it. Got the hand. It's Serena. Carlos. Discussion. Then is that discussion or you seconding it also?
Mr. Chairman,
I want you to walk us through that, Matt. So
well, I may dance through it as opposed to walking through it.
whatever it is.
But the last 3 pages of the budget packet
I have them.
includes the several items, the original fiscal year 22 budget, the 23, what we're calling the pre-closed budget, which presupposed that we did not make this deal with Avports. And then the far two right columns are the fiscal year 23 budget post-close. And I bring your attention to the 3rd page, which includes the authority administration expenses, which are anticipated to be $481,587. The revenues, based on what has just been approved by this body, are anticipated to be $625,000. That does not include what was negotiated in the agreement, which some of us may have seen, was a $200,000 allowance with Avports to hire consultants to perform certain activities that we don't have the capacity to do in-house. So what we are looking at is an estimated net revenue of about 143,000. But I want to bring to your attention a couple of things. We have the current executive director salary at $110,000. Based on our discussions with the Federal Aviation Administration and the fact that we will most likely need to be replacing Sean Scanlon, despite the tremendous job he's done over these last nearly 3 years, we are probably not going to be able to get somebody for what we have been paying Sean. So we fully anticipate that there will be additional compensation coming to an executive director, as well as some new hires regarding contract or administrative staff. So we feel comfortable. The Finance Committee feels comfortable, as well as the work we've done with our consultants relative to the veracity of these numbers, that approving this budget is the appropriate thing to do. So I would move that we approve the amended budget for fiscal year 22-23, and would entertain any questions.
Yeah, the motion and second is discussion. I am going to comment on this also because I think there was a lot of work that went in, but is there any other? I mean, what's also important to notice that on the revenue side, different from last year's, there's no more state subsidy or no more subsidy from the city of New Haven. I think that's probably important to a lot of people, but also the fact that there are, as Matt said, no offense, Sean, you're probably leaving us, and I don't think the executive director salary, and doesn't mean he's getting a raise now, is going to be after having multiple discussions with the FAA. I agree with Matt. We've probably gone through these numbers. You know, a lot of this is to make sure we protect, Tweed and the airport and the neighborhood, and to have also the legal and audit and accounting and other services that have those fiscal checks and balances. So I think on that side, and it looks, hopefully we'll have a surplus at the end of the year also. So there was a lot of thought that went into this, and just trying to work this as best we can for the entire region.
Mr.
Any other
Chairman,
discuss-
Mr. Chairman, one more, to the last line on the operating budget for the authority. We also have a contingency amount in there for about $75,000.
Correct. And I wanted the board to know that, because every member on this board, we're going to be looking to hire other people, whether it's obviously the executive director at some point in the future, but also on the accounting side, and potentially, with public relations and things of that nature. I just don't think it's feasible, again, that one person does that. So I'm just letting this board know ahead of time. Any other discussion? Seeing none, we have a motion, a second, to approve the amended budget for fiscal 23. Roll call vote, Mr. Scanlon.
All right. Bertolino,
Yes.
Izagiri,
Yes.
Jacob,
Yes.
Neil Sanjuro,
Yes.
Petrini,
Yes.
Glars,
Yes.
Ellis,
Yes.
Pompano,
Ray, you there?
I don't see him anymore.
Low battery.
Janetti, Daglieri,
No.
Hennessy.
I'd like to abstain, please.
Okay. Coyle,
No.
Hoey,
Yes.
White, and Picard.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah,
that's
9-3 and 1.
a 9-2-1.
9-2-1. That's right. We didn't find Ray's. So we have 9 yeas, 2 nays, 1 abstention. That motion carries. I am now going to turn this over to Mr. Scanlon, as we have the election of the authority officers.
But before we do that, Mr. Chairman, I know this has been a very long meeting and, a very trying meeting, but I do just want to make a few brief remarks. No big.
Go right ahead.
Don't worry. It has been a very trying and exciting and difficult time at the airport in the last few years, just because of COVID, because of our financial situation before COVID, and debating and looking at this very, very complicated deal. And I do want to just take a moment to thank all of you who are here tonight on this board for looking at this. Some of you for several days because you're brand new. Some of you for several years because you've been a part of this. I want to briefly acknowledge 4 board members who recently departed, but were very, very instrumental in looking at this for the last couple of years. That's Jerry Weiner, Kevin Arnold, Peter Leonardi, and Dan Adams. I want to thank the chair, Mr. Picard. John has been an incredible partner to me in reviewing all this. This is, all of you know, it's a part-time board. Nobody's making any money off of this, but they're giving a lot of their time and effort to it. And I think that that is something that's really, really important to acknowledge for all of you. Want to acknowledge Mayor Elliker and his staff, Mike Piscatelli, Giovanni Zinn, Carlos, who's now a member of our board, Sean Madison, John Ward. All of them have been very, very helpful in working with us. We haven't always agreed on everything. They are all very, very tough negotiators, including Mayor Elliker. He is never afraid to tell me if we are not getting it right and if there's things that we have to do for the people that he represents. But we wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for the hard work of he and his team to get this right and get it done. And obviously, we're also thankful to the Board of Alders, who last September unanimously voted to move forward what was item number 566 tonight. So I want to thank them as well. Just 2 more quick acknowledgements.
Hold on. Go ahead, Sean.
To Avports, Jorge Roberts, who is the CEO of Avports. He's been a great friend to this authority for some time when he was just simply running the company that managed the airport. And he's been a great partner to us as we tried to do what we are all talking about doing and what we announced in May of 2021, which is a very, very exciting thing. And I just want to acknowledge him, Alan Kroll, to Andrew King, Andrew Vasey, Maria, many, many people who have given so much of their time over the last 2 years every single day, talking about this for hours upon hours upon hours. And we really appreciate working with them. And we're excited about continuing to work with them going forward. And last but not least, I just want to thank our team. Several years ago, frankly, this board decided to hire outside consultants to help us evaluate this deal. We could not have been in a position at all to do that if it were not for the help of Peter Kirsch, Brett Simon, Suyash Rayborn, Adam Giuliano, and most importantly, Hugh Mankey, who has been the attorney for the authority since the inception of it in 1998. All of those individuals have been so instrumental in helping me and John and now all of us understand what's before us and get this right. And I just wanted to just take a time, Mr. Chairman, to thank them for what they do. And just close by saying this. We had a discussion earlier with Mr. Bertolino about what the future holds of this project. And I was very clear to say to him that this is simply just another step in the road towards this item happening, towards us building this project and giving people the air service that I truly believe that they want in this region. But there are many steps left to go. There are many conversations left to be had. I know I speak for the chairman. I know I speak for Avports, and I certainly speak for myself when I say that our door is wide open, and we look forward to continuing the dialogue with the city of East Haven, the city of New Haven, and probably more than anything, the residents of this neighborhood and the surrounding area, who I make myself available to. My cell phone number is out there. I talk to 5 or 10 different people a day about the concerns that they raise, and I will continue doing that. Nothing that we did tonight changes that. But this project is really, really important. And I know this was a really, really long meeting, but I think it's important for us to just acknowledge what we did tonight is very crucial in towards getting this thing that many of us and many people have wanted for decades. And I think it's important to acknowledge that. And I just want to thank you all, regardless of how you voted tonight, for being a part of this and for being a part of what comes next, which is going to be a lot of more work and a lot of more discussion. And I want to thank you all for being a part of that.
Thank you, Sean. I wanted to say a few words also, and I didn't want to say it before because I didn't want to, but I first of all, Ray was frozen. So I don't know if Ray can hear me, but he said, I would have abstained on the budget. You guys don't have to, I'm just telling you what he said. He was frozen. He couldn't, he lost audio. So I'm just, that's Ray's text to me. And I want to thank Ray. First of all, Sean, Sean's obviously just had a new baby, but has a couple of young kids and has worked tirelessly and really done an amazing job. He's right. About a year and a half ago when we all stood out there, but we've been working on this for a long time. And I don't just mean this the last couple of years. A lot of these people have been on this board a lot longer than me. And you mentioned Jerry and Dan and Peter and Kevin, and they put a lot of time in there. And I really do appreciate the help. And Matt as a vice chair has been really, well, on the e-board has been very helpful. But we volunteer and we're really doing what we feel is best. I mean, on the information we have a very good team and we do the best we can. So I really do want to, there's a lot of experts there. As Matt went through the budget, we've gone through that, and I mean, Vin and Rich have been there, and Mark and Robert and all of you. I really want to say thank you to the newer board members. Ken, we talked the other day. I mean, you're all doing what we think is best, and to Linda and to Ray, and it's funny. I even met Kevin years ago, and so it's all about doing what we can to work together. And I heard. There's a lot of information that we've processed. There's a lot of things that we've done, and we're doing what we feel is best for the region and for all of us. And we're going to continue to do our best to work together and to keep this going. And we have as Sean said, we have a lot more work to do. But Sean, I really do want to say thank you. We joke about at some point you maybe leaving, but we really do appreciate it. And to any new members, obviously, Carlos, you've been helpful. Anybody, Robert, you guys have my cell phone. You can always get in touch with me. You can always get in touch with Sean, Joe, any of us, any of the board members on here will tell you very easy to contact, and we'll always get right back to you. All right.
Thank you, John.
With that, Mr. Chairman, I'll proceed to the election and take over the meeting for you. So the first office that we will have an election for tonight is the office of secretary. Is there a motion for the office of secretary? Mr. Kumar.
I'm going to make a motion to recommend Linda Hennessy for the office of
I'll
secretary.
And I'll
second that.
second it.
Second by Serena.
Sounds good.
Are there
Okay.
any further nominations? Any further nominations?
Move the nominations be closed.
Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Hey,
All
Ray,
those in favor of Linda Hennessy being the new secretary of the Tweed New Haven Airport Authority, vote signify by saying aye.
aye, Ray,
Aye.
Ray also said aye also. He just texted me.
Congratulations, Linda.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Linda.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Next up is the officer of treasurer. Is there a motion for treasurer of the board?
And you-
I'd like to nominate Serena because I don't want the job.
I'll second that.
Motion by Matt, second by Ken Daglieri. Are there any other nominations?
Move the nominations be closed.
All those in favor of closing the nomination signify by saying
Aye.
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 All those in favor of Serena becoming the new treasurer of the Airport Authority Board signify by
I want
saying
to say thank you, Serena.
Aye, thank you.
Aye.
God bless you.
Yeah, it was in the discussion. I was to say thank you for all you've done. We really appreciate you. You and
Thank you
Linda.
guys so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Next up is the office of vice chair. Are there any nominations?
I'd like to nominate my very good friend here, Matt Hoyt, for stepping up, and I make the nomination for vice chair, and really appreciate it. So
Second.
Thank you, Serena.
Any
Move the
other
nominations.
nominations?
I can't say that.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations?
move the
Move
to
close.
close.
All those in favor of closing the nomination signify by saying aye.
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 All those in favor of Mr. Hoey being the next vice chair of the Airport Authority Board signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ray jumped in on both of those and said yes, thumbs up. So Serena and Matt.
Okay.
Thank you.
And last
Right
but
now
not
it's
least,
texting me.
the office of chair of the board.
Mr. Director, I'd like to nominate Mr. John Picard, who has put his heart and soul into this quote unquote voluntary position. And I want to thank John for all of his efforts. I second it.
I would like to second as well.
Are there any other nominations?
Move the nominations be closed.
All those in favor of closing the nominations to the office of chair.
Aye.
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 All those in favor of Mr. Picard becoming the chair of the board.
Aye.
signify by saying
Aye.
Thank you. Ray also jumped in and gave a thumbs up. So
Congratulations
Thank you.
to our new officers,
Congratulations.
and thank you everyone for all your help on this evening.
to
Thank you
Linda,
all so much.
Serena, and Matt, thank you very much for stepping up for the entire board. Thank you for
You're welcome.
all the volunteer hours you've put in and all the volunteer hours you're going to put in. So we do appreciate it.
Our pleasure. My pleasure.
Congrats
Ray, that
to all.
Public comment was moved to the beginning, so that was moved by the board. There were any other business? Seeing none, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Ken. You got a second?
Second.
Matt,
Second.
Mark, Robert, Serena, Linda. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Meeting's
Aye.
adjourned at
Amen.
6:19 PM. Thank you, everyone. Have a
Thank
great
you
night.
all. Well done.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, everybody.